Imagine a world where the limits you believe in don't exist. A world where the rules written by others do not define what you can or cannot do. The ones who shape history are not those who simply accept the world as it is, but those who dare to challenge it, who look at what is and ask, why not? Every great invention, every revolution, every transformation began with a single person who refused to accept the ordinary. They were no different from you. They had fears, doubts, and failures, but what set them apart was the refusal to let those things define their destiny. They saw beyond what was in front of them and believed in what could be. Most people spend their lives following a path that someone else has drawn for them. They stay in their lane, follow the rules, and live within the boundaries they were told never to cross. But history doesn't remember those who walked the safe road. It remembers those who stepped off it, those who carved their own way, those who were bold enough to dream of something bigger. The world you see around you is built by people no smarter than you. The devices you use, the cities you live in, the systems that run the world, all of them were created by individuals who once sat where you are now. They were not born with superhuman abilities. They simply had the courage to think differently, to take risks, and to push against the barriers that others blindly accepted. Change does not come from waiting. It does not come from hoping that someday someone else will fix things. It comes from action. It comes from standing up and saying, I will not accept the world as it is. I will make it better. There will be voices that tell you it's impossible, that you're dreaming too big, that you should be realistic. But understand this, realistic people do not change the world. It is the ones who refuse to settle, the ones who believe the impossible, who leave their mark. If you want to create something new, if you want to leave a legacy, if you want to make a difference, stop waiting for permission. The world is not going to hand you an invitation to change it. You must take the first step, and then another and another until the impossible becomes reality. The greatest revolutions in history did not begin with resources, power, or authority. They began with belief. A belief so strong, so unshakable, that even when the world laughed, rejected, and doubted, it stood firm. Everything around you, every breakthrough, every invention, every piece of progress once existed only as an idea in someone's mind. The difference between those who change the world and those who merely exist in it is the ability to see beyond the present reality and imagine something greater. Most people are trapped by the limits set by society, by their fears, and by the doubts of others. They think small, they act safe, and they accept what they see as all that is possible. But those who truly transform the world refuse to be bound by what exists. They dare to see what others ignore. They envision what others call impossible. They believe when others doubt. It is this belief that fuels action. It is this belief that pushes someone to work when there is no immediate reward, to persist when failure knocks them down, and to keep going when the entire world tells them to stop. The most powerful force is not money, not technology, not status. It is the conviction that something can be done. Because once a person truly believes, nothing can stop them. Doubt has killed more dreams than failure ever could. The people who leave a legacy are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are simply the ones who refuse to let disbelief hold them back. They chose to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. And because they believed, they created. Because they created, they changed everything. The ones who shape history do not wait for permission. They do not wait for the perfect moment. They take the first step, fueled by nothing but their vision. Most people live their entire lives following a path that someone else has drawn for them. They wake up, go through the motions, do what is expected, and never stop to question if the road they are on is truly their own. They accept the rules, the limits, the expectations set by others, believing that stepping beyond them is too risky, too unrealistic, too different. But those who change the world are the ones who refuse to stay in the lines. They do not let society, tradition, or fear dictate what they can or cannot do. They break free. The world is full of invisible walls, rules that were never questioned, systems that were built by those before us, ways of thinking that have been blindly accepted. But the truth is, these walls only exist if you believe in them. Every great innovator, every world changer, every history maker saw these limits for what they were, illusions created by people no different from themselves. And instead of following the path given to them, they created their own. The ones who make an impact do not fit into the mold. They do not fear being different. They embrace it. They are the ones who think beyond the expected, who challenge the norm, who take risks while others hesitate. They are the ones who refuse to let the fear of failure stop them from trying. They are the ones who push past rejection, ignore the voices that say it cannot be done, and step forward into the unknown with nothing but belief and determination. Breaking free is not easy. It means standing alone when others conform. It means making choices that others may not understand. It means facing setbacks and still moving forward. But the people who change the world are not those who follow. It is those who lead. It is those who dare. It is those who refuse to let anyone else define what they are capable of. The question is, will you follow the road laid out for you, or will you be bold enough to create your own? Will you accept the limits placed on you, or will you break them? The world does not need more followers. Everything you see around you, every invention, every building, every breakthrough, was created by people no smarter than you. The ones who built empires, who transformed industries, who changed the course of history, were not born with some extraordinary gift that made them different from everyone else. They simply had the courage to think differently, to take risks, and to believe that they could shape the world instead of just living in it. Most people look at the great innovators of the past and assume they were somehow special, as if they had access to something that the rest of us don't. But the truth is, they started exactly where you are now, filled with doubts, faced with challenges, and uncertain of the future. The difference, they didn't let those doubts stop them. They didn't let obstacles define them. They didn't wait for permission to create something new. The people who leave a mark on this world are the ones who refuse to accept that things must remain as they are. They see problems as opportunities, failures as lessons, and limits as challenges to be broken. They understand that intelligence alone doesn't change the world. Boldness does. Perseverance does. You are no different from them. The same world they changed is the world you live in now. The same opportunities to innovate, to lead, to make a difference exist in front of you. The only question is, will you take them? Will you believe in your own ability to create something meaningful? The world does not belong to those who sit on the sidelines. Change does not come from sitting back and waiting for the right moment. It does not happen because someone hopes, wishes, or dreams about it. The world is shaped by those who take action, those who step forward while others hesitate, those who start even when they don't have all the answers, and those who push forward even when uncertainty surrounds them. If you've ever thought, who am I to make a difference? Realize that every great mind before you once asked themselves the same question. The ones who built the future we live in today had no guarantee of success. They simply took the first step, then another, and another, until the impossible became real. Most people wait. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, the perfect opportunity. They tell themselves they will begin someday, when they have more experience, when they feel ready, when everything falls into place. But someday never comes. The world does not reward those who wait. It rewards those who act. Every great idea, every revolutionary change, every movement that reshaped history began with a single action. Not with endless planning, not with waiting for permission, but with a decision to start. The people who make an impact understand that they will never have all the answers before they begin. They know that the path ahead is uncertain, that they will face obstacles, that they will fail along the way, but they take the first step anyway, because action creates momentum, and momentum creates change. There will always be reasons to delay. There will always be fears whispering in your mind, telling you it's too risky, too soon, too difficult. But the difference between those who change the world and those who simply exist in it is that the ones who make an impact do not let fear dictate their actions. They move forward despite it. They understand that progress is made not by those who wait for the stars to align, but by those who take risks and figure things out along the way. You will never feel fully prepared. You will never have all the resources you think you need. But if you start now, if you take that first step, you will be further ahead than all those who are still waiting for the right time, because the right time is not someday, it's now. The world will not change itself. It is waiting for those bold enough to take action. Will you be one of them? The moment you decide to do something different, to step outside the ordinary, to create something meaningful, the world will push back. People will tell you it's impossible. They will say you are dreaming too big, aiming too high, thinking too differently. They will question your ideas, your abilities, your vision. And if you listen to them, if you let their doubts sink into your mind, you will stop before you even begin. The ones who change the world are not the ones who seek approval. They do not wait for others to believe in them before they act. They understand that every groundbreaking idea, every revolutionary step forward was once ridiculed, dismissed, or ignored. The greatest minds in history were told they were wrong, that they were wasting their time, that they would never succeed. But instead of backing down, they used that doubt as fuel. They understood that the people who say it can't be done are often the ones too afraid to try. Rejection is not a stop sign. Doubt from others is not proof that you should quit. The reality is, people fear what they do not understand. When you step beyond the ordinary, when you challenge what has always been accepted, you will make people uncomfortable. They will try to pull you back to where it's safe, where it's predictable, where it's easy to fit in. But if you want to make a difference, if you want to leave a mark, you cannot let their fears become your own. Every person who ever built something extraordinary faced resistance. The difference between those who made history and those who faded into the background was simple. They refused to let the voices of doubt define them. They did not let someone else's disbelief limit their own belief. They trusted themselves when no one else did. If you are waiting for the world to believe in you before you begin, you will be waiting forever. The world only believes in those who show them what is possible. So the choice is yours. Will you let the doubts of others hold you back, or will you move forward anyway? Will you prove them right, or will you prove yourself right? The world is not changed by those who play it safe. It is not shaped by those who follow the rules, stay within the lines, and do only what is expected. It is transformed by those who are bold enough to challenge the way things have always been. The ones who make history are not the ones who blend in, but the ones who stand out. They refuse to accept that things must remain as they are simply because that is how they have always been. They dare to ask, what if? Most people are trapped in the comfort of reality. They believe that being practical means avoiding risk, that success is only for those who follow the traditional path, that stepping beyond the ordinary is reckless. They convince themselves that dreaming big is foolish, that change is unrealistic, that breaking the mold is dangerous. And because of this mindset, they never create anything new. They live their entire lives inside a box built by others, afraid to step beyond the familiar. But the ones who change the world understand something different. They know that being realistic does not lead to greatness. It leads to mediocrity. They know that the greatest breakthroughs in history did not come from those who followed the rules, but from those who rewrote them. They know that every revolutionary idea, every bold invention, every shift in society began with someone who refused to accept the limits placed before them. The future belongs to those who are willing to take risks, to think beyond what is practical, to act despite uncertainty. If you want to leave a mark, if you want to create something that lasts, you must be willing to ignore the voice that tells you to play it safe. Playing it safe has never built empires. It has never sparked revolutions. It has never created legacies. The world will tell you to be realistic, to think small, to avoid risk. But the ones who ignore that advice, the ones who dare to dream beyond what others believe possible, those are the ones who redefine the future. You can choose to be one of them. You can choose to break free from the ordinary, to step beyond the expected, to embrace the uncertainty of doing something truly great. The ones who change the world are not afraid of being unrealistic. Failure is not the end. It is not proof that you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough. It is simply part of the process. Every great success, every world-changing idea, every innovation that shaped the future was built on a foundation of failures. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the willingness to fail, learn, and try again. Most people fear failure so much that they never take the first step. They would rather stay in their comfort zone than risk falling. They see failure as something shameful, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is not what holds people back. Fear of failure is. It is the fear of looking foolish, the fear of rejection, the fear of not getting it right on the first try. And because of that fear, most people never start. They never try. They never give themselves a chance to create something extraordinary. The ones who change the world see failure differently. They do not fear it, they embrace it. They understand that every failure teaches something, every mistake sharpens their skills, and every setback prepares them for something greater. They do not let failure break them, they let it build them. They use it as fuel to push forward, as proof that they are moving, learning, growing. They know that success is not about never failing, it is about never stopping. Look at the people who have shaped history. Look at the inventors, the entrepreneurs, the visionaries who redefined what was possible. Every single one of them failed. Some of them failed hundreds of times, but they refused to let those failures define them. They understood that failure is not a wall, it is a If you are afraid to fail, you are afraid to succeed. If you are waiting for perfection before you begin, you will never begin. The world does not belong to those who never make mistakes. It belongs to those who keep going despite them. Every failure is proof that you are trying, proof that you are pushing boundaries, proof that you are on the path to something greater. The ones who change the world are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who never quit. Time is the most valuable resource you have. It is the one thing you can never get back, the one thing that is slipping away with every passing second. Most people live as if they have all the time in the world, as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if they can afford to waste days, months, even years waiting for the right moment to pursue what truly matters. But the truth is, life is short, and if you do not take control of your time, it will be taken from you, spent on things that do not matter, wasted on things that do not bring you closer to the impact you were meant to make. Most people live by routines they never question, following paths they never chose, doing work they do not love, all while promising themselves that one day they will chase their dreams, one day they will take that risk, one day they will start, but one day turns into never, because time does not wait. The world is full of people who had big ideas, great ambitions, and powerful dreams, but they kept putting them off until it was too late. The ones who change the world understand that time is precious. They know that every day is an opportunity, every moment a decision, and every second a chance to build something that matters. They do not waste time on regrets, on excuses, or on waiting for the perfect circumstances. They act now. They take risks while others hesitate. They create while others wait. They understand that the future is not something to wait for, it is something to build. Look around you. Everything you see, every invention, every breakthrough, every movement that shaped the world was created by someone who refused to waste their time. They did not let fear stop them. They did not wait for permission. They understood that the only way to create something meaningful is to start before you feel ready, to act before time runs out. You have one life, one chance, one opportunity to make an impact. Do not waste it living by someone else's expectations. Do not waste it waiting for the perfect moment. Do not waste it being afraid. The world does not change itself. The world does not change because of the ideas that sit idle in our minds, nor does it change because of the dreams we keep tucked away for someday. It changes when people like you decide to take action, to step into the unknown, and to trust in the power of your own vision. It changes when you are bold enough to challenge the status quo, when you are strong enough to face rejection, when you are relentless enough to keep going despite the obstacles in your way. You see, those who change the world are not perfect. They are not the ones with flawless plans, endless resources, or guaranteed success. They are the ones who believe in their potential, who trust that they can create something meaningful, who move forward in the face of uncertainty. They do not wait for the world to give them permission. They take it. They know that time is precious. that every moment counts, and they refuse to let fear, doubt, or failure hold them back from pursuing what they know in their hearts is worth fighting for. The world needs more people who are willing to believe in the impossible, to create what doesn't yet exist, and to never stop moving forward. The world needs more people who see challenges as opportunities, who embrace failure as part of the journey, and who refuse to let anyone or anything define their potential. And the truth is, you have everything it takes to be one of those people. The power to change the world lies within you. It always has. It's not about waiting for the right time or the perfect conditions. It's about seizing the moment, trusting your instincts, and believing that no matter the obstacles, you can make a difference. Because when you make that choice, when you decide to take that first step, when you decide to break free from the ordinary, when you decide to lead instead of follow, you will not just change your own life, you will change the world. The world needs your ideas, it needs your courage, it needs your relentless pursuit of what is possible. So I ask you today, are you ready to create the change you want to see? Are you ready to take that first step, to push past your doubts, and to change the world one bold action at a time? The time is now, and the world is waiting for you. The world we live in is not shaped by those who wait for things to happen. It is shaped by those who make things happen. When you look around, you'll see that everything that has transformed the world in any significant way started as a spark in someone's mind. Someone just like you had a dream, had an idea, and instead of sitting back and hoping for the perfect moment, they took that first step into the unknown. They acted in the face of uncertainty, believing in their vision when no one else could see it. And through that belief, through their willingness to challenge the norm, they built the future. But here's the thing, those who change the world are not some other kind of people. They are not some special breed of genius that we all look up to and think, I could never be like that. They are simply ordinary people who choose to push beyond the limitations that most of us accept as truth. They understand that the only way to create something extraordinary is to break free from the patterns, the fears, and the doubts that everyone else lives by. It's easy to get caught up in thinking that things need to be perfect to begin, that you need to have everything figured out, all the resources lined up, every step of the plan in place. But here's the hard truth. The greatest breakthroughs, the most groundbreaking ideas, and the most impactful legacies were never created with perfect conditions. They were created with a deep belief in the possibility of something more and with a willingness to make mistakes along the way. These visionaries did not wait for everything to align. They stepped into the uncertainty and trusted that action would lead them to where they needed to be. And this brings us to a crucial point. Failure is not the end of the road. Failure is a necessary part of the journey, a sign that you're pushing your limits, testing the boundaries, and stretching your potential. Those who change the world do not shy away from failure. They embrace it. They don't see failure as a sign to give up. They see it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to adjust, and to move forward even stronger. Every great innovator, every game changer has faced failure. And they all share one common trait. They refused to let failure define them. Instead, they used it as a stepping stone, as a lesson that propelled them further on their path. It's easy to be afraid of failure, to let the fear of not succeeding stop you from even trying. But the truth is, if you let the fear of failure hold you back, you'll never take that first step. And if you never take that step, you'll never know what's possible. You will never see the incredible things you are capable of achieving. The world needs people who are willing to fail, who are willing to fall and get back up again, who are willing to take risks that others are too afraid to take, because it's only through those risks that the extraordinary happens.